Often when we think of school safety, our minds go first to emergency response. The emergency response plan, while incredibly important, is only one part of the equation when it comes to school safety. Emergency response is just that, a planned response designed for a specific event. In order to understand and appreciate the purpose of an emergency response plan, which we're all thinking about, we need to see the entire school safety approach. At Ballard, the comprehensive plan includes student behavior prevention and response, threat assessment, and emergency response. This comprehensive approach is meant to provide us and our community with confidence in our ability to respond to any situation. Each piece of the comprehensive plan is important and serves a different purpose. Like other elements of the educational experience, each plan is designed to use a tiered system of support approach. We are prepared for school-wide prevention, we're prepared for at-risk behavior intervention, and we're prepared for intensive intervention. Student behavior prevention and response plans include procedures for varying situations. Specific procedures exist for bullying and harassment, discrimination, and student conduct. Bullying and harassment of or by students, employees, and volunteers is against federal, state, and local policy, and it is not tolerated. It's a very important statement, but definitions are critical. We take all poor behavior seriously, and the strength of our comprehensive plan is using it to determine what steps to take. We ask, is it bullying and harassment? Is it discrimination? Or is it inappropriate student conduct? Sometimes it might be more than one. Bullying and harassment specifically means repeated conduct that places the individual in reasonable fear of harm. It has a substantial detrimental effect on the individual's physical or mental health, and it substantially interferes with the individual's academic or career performance. Complaints are to be filed with administrators who will notify parents and proceed with investigation procedures. The complaint form is found in board policy and guides the investigation process. Discrimination on the basis of sex is also against federal, state, and local policy and is not tolerated. The district has a trained coordinator to guide this complaint process. When addressing student conduct, perhaps involving bullying and harassment or discrimination, districts are required by Iowa law to follow progressive discipline procedures. We use a progressive approach because in the educational setting, situations vary and require proactive approaches that involve teaching and reteaching. We also understand that this situational approach is often confusing to community members and families. In an effort to provide clarity, we start with a few foundational beliefs. Childhood brain development is not adult brain development. The way we see a situation unfold with our adult lens is not the same as that of a child in the midst of the situation. Also, teaching and reteaching is our business in education. It's our responsibility in education. This is never at the risk of safety. Safety always comes first, but teaching and reteaching is our business and our responsibility. We frequently encounter challenging behaviors in the educational setting because increasing expectations are our business, and they do cause challenging behaviors. And a statement that I think most of us just need to sit with for a moment. Removing a student from school does not increase safety. In most situations, our best path is to keep students in school, supervising them, teaching them, and supporting them and other students, which is not the same as saying keeping them in the school and doing nothing. Finally, responses do not need to be linear, as we will see in the examples in the next few slides. When we look at the progressive discipline policy on paper, it's 6 pages long, with 3 headings under each of the 3 levels that you see here. It can look like we have 9 steps to student discipline before we reach our most restrictive response. This is just not the case. In each escalating level, labeled here as level 1, level 2, level 3, we have a toolbox at our disposal that encompasses the 3 headings of building capacity, problem solving, and responding. Our work with students is often happening in all 3 headings at the same time. We sometimes even start in level 3 and level 2 if the situation calls for more intensive support. In our level 1 toolbox, across all 3 headings, this includes things that are happening at the same general time, such as pre-teaching, reteaching, modeling, and practicing desired behaviors with active supervision, problem solving or restorative conversations, and restoring relationships. Again, keeping in mind that this is level 1, to see this through examples, it could look like this. The examples here, shown in a different color, are at different age levels. If we follow the first example through, you see that this is most likely younger students, where you might hear an adult say, "We want to be sure everyone is safe at recess. So if you become frustrated with someone, remember to keep your hands to yourself and run to your safe spot. Please show me where your safe spot is." You see there the pre-teaching, modeling, and practice. In problem solving, the same situation, it might sound like, "I noticed that you had trouble at recess. Please share with me what's going on." And responding. We're all here to plan for next steps to help us be successful at recess. What do you think we could do to make this right? When we move to level 2 responses, we include this toolbox, and we can add on. We add on things like engaging families in problem solving and possibly removing students from class or from activities. And again, to see this through examples, perhaps at different age levels, we see some text in different color. Notice that all of these could be, and likely would be, happening in the same situation. When we move to level 3 responses, we include this toolbox and we add on. We add targeted or intensive interventions, referral to the student success team or to an IEP team, possibly suspension or alternative learning environments. To see this through examples, it could look like this. Noticing again that these are not sequential and could all be happening at the same time. Stepping back again, remember, student behavior prevention and response includes plans for addressing bullying and harassment, discrimination, and inappropriate student conduct. For threat assessment and self-harm assessment, we use a systematic decision-making tree for threat assessments. The formal structure is the Comprehensive School Threat Assessment Guidelines, labeled here as CSTAG. Key to this training is the belief that threat assessment in schools is different than threat assessment because childhood brain development is not adult brain development. Student intention matters, and the process focuses heavily on determining why a threat or self-harm threat has occurred. The decision-making tree is central to the work of the CSTAG team. A few things to note. The district school resource officer is on this team. This process could be accelerated as the situation would call for. For example, we could be on step 4, item F, which involves law enforcement, in a matter of seconds if needed, and if it is apparent that convening the team would hinder a critical response. And using this process does not remove the student behavior prevention and response plan. Again, using the threat assessment process doesn't remove our ability to move our conversations with students into what we just reviewed in the behavior prevention and response plan, depending on what's discovered through the process. We'd also like you to know that additional information about this threat assessment process will be shared at a school and community forum very soon. A date and location will be announced. Finally, emergency response plans are clearly articulated responses to a wide range of emergencies. While we don't make the details of these plans public, we do want to be highly transparent that the plans are all inclusive. The emergency response plan that is reviewed annually includes all of the events that you see listed here on this slide. It can be hard to see the forest through the trees, and safety is very important to all of us. When we're in the midst of an event, large or small, it can be easy to lose sight of the district's ability to respond to situations. We are prepared in a comprehensive way. We do have a comprehensive plan that's focused on the safety of each child, each employee, and each partner.